So I beat this level a while ago, but it's one of the most uniquely challenging levels I played, so I thought I'd make a video on it. Basically, this level is pretty hard and has multiple checkpoints to help players beat the level. And to beat the world record by 98 minutes, I had to finish the course in one go without using any checkpoints. So this level uses a pretty cool mechanic with the horizontal thwomps. It kinda acts like a train that transports Luigi to each checkpoint, and I can continuously wall jump off the bullet blaster or spin jump on the thwomp to keep traveling. In this part, I drop 2 POWs onto the thwomp to use as platforms, and I ground pound the top one to avoid the fire bar. Then, I jump on top of the blaster to avoid the saws. I hit the switch to open the wall, and use the POW from earlier to enter the pipe. So in this next part, this thwomp train vehicle thing is much smaller, which means my jumps have to be tighter. And there's also a second thwomp vehicle that I have to manage, so I use it to jump over the saws, and then jump on the Koopa shell that I'll use later. And here, I kick the shell to hit a POW so I can jump on top of the blaster and hit the switch to open the path. I drop this POW to jump off of and then board it to make it through this gap, and then the POW blocks the thwomp from hitting an on-off switch, allowing me to enter the pipe. In this section, the thwomp is in the purple poison at the bottom of the screen, so it travels much slower than the last 2 parts. And since it travels slower, I have to stall my wall jumps using ground pound cancels and midair twirls, making this section more difficult. And here, this big thwomp hits a POW that destroys a muncher riding on the thwomp train, so I'm able to spin jump off the thwomp. Now coming up is a pretty hard trick. I have to preserve this POW while still wall jumping, so I time my throws to bounce it on the springs while stalling midair so I can eventually destroy this thwomp. Then, I do a few more air stalls and ride the bullet blaster into the pipe. Now this final part makes use of the rising purple poison, so the vehicle changes speed drastically as the poison rises and falls. And I have to be sure to line myself up correctly before its speed changes so I can clear all the obstacles. Here, I get rid of this muncher with a POW so I can spin jump off the thwomp again. And here, this big muncher blocks me from going on top of the blaster. I spin jump off the spinies to activate this bob-omb, and I do tiny wall jumps until I have to hit the bob-omb over to an on-off switch to open the wall. Now, I spin jump off the thwomp until the big muncher gets pushed off, board the blaster, and wall jump to make it to the final pipe. And finally, I take a star to get a speed boost and reach the end of the level, beating the previous world record time by over 98 minutes. So whenever I accomplish something like getting the world record time on a level, I like to put something up on my wall to commemorate the achievement. And since the vehicle in this level reminded me of a train, I put a train on my wall.